Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please like, subscribe and share, and let's get started. Today I'm working with Finnebair papers. It's the A3 Decoupage rice paper, night dreaming, and the image that you saw is Stargazer from 7 Dot Studio, but is designed by Finnebair. And the rice paper, you can see I've already used it a lot. I'm tearing things off. I'm not using it as a whole. I'm gonna use it in my art journal. This is an A5 art journal. And I'm going to glue down the parts. First I'm applying a coat of gesso. It's clear gesso from Art Basic. And it's transparent. And I'm just gluing it down. And I'm also putting a coat on top to seal it. Then I'm also going over the whole page. Just love the vibrance from the blue that you are seeing from the rice paper. And then I'm checking where I want the girl. But first of all, I'm going to use a stencil. I've been having this stencil for a while, so I don't know what it is called. It's a grungy one. And I want to use the numbers and the dots that are there. And I'm going to use a structure paste from Dutch Doobadoo. It's a white structure paste. I'm just filling in all the holes from the stencil. Then there's another number that I want to use on the other side. And then the other stencil, there's some arrows that I wanted to use. In between, I'm just wiping the structure paste off between the cloth, because the structure paper, the structure paste is very thick, and when it dries, it's difficult to get off. So I'm just wiping it between a dry cloth. And then I take the other stencil and I go to the arrows, the small arrows that is there. Then I realize I have to dry my previous texture, because if not, then I'm gonna flatten it with the stencil. So I'm just drying it now. And I'm placing the stencil, the arrows between my two images. These ones are pointing down, then I'm doing one with pointing up, and I'm also doing one pointing to the side. And in between, every time I dry with my heat gun, because I don't want to mess it up. And I'm not applying it very thick, just a thin layer, because it's in my art journal, and I still want to do a little bit of 3D. So I'm making sure that everything is dried. Once again, I'm cleaning my stencil between a dry cloth. Now I can put my stencils away, because I'm satisfied. I know it's not really showing up on the camera, but you will see it when I start using the color. Now it's time to paste my image, and normally I would paste it on another piece of paper, a thicker one, and then I place it up with something under to make it 3D, but this time I want to keep it flat, and so I'm just using a spray glue. Easier and quicker, and it was right in front of my nose, so that's why I'm using it. But you can also use your ordinary glue, a glue stick. Easier and quicker, and it was right in front of my nose, so that's why I'm using it. But you can also use your ordinary glue, a glue stick, gloss gel, whatever. Sometimes I use the spray glue because I want it to dry very quick, and then I can start working on it immediately instead of drying it again and waiting for it to really dry. So I'm taking some stamps now. The one you see on the right is one I designed. It's just text fantasy, and this one is stamped from the art event, and it just has the words art all over. Trying to make it stick, but because it's so warm it doesn't want to. You can see it's falling off, so then I just decide to use my hands. And everything I'm doing, I'm just doing it in between. I'm trying to connect with the stamping, because I don't want to connect with the color, but if you just leave it like that, then they are just two separate images on your paper, and they are not connected, and I want them connected, so by the stamping I connect them. And it's I'm using Memento black. It's water resistant, so later when I want to use my paints and my waxes, it will not run. And because I'm going with the flow, and I don't know really what I want, because I almost never make a plan. Sometimes I do, but most of the time not. Most of the time I just see things, and like I started this one with a pretty paper, and from there I will go on. So I want to use some embellishments, but they cannot be too high, they have to be flat. And these are leftovers from chipboard, but I like them anyway, so I kept them because they don't look like leftovers. So I'm going to use them because this is a very thin layer that I'm adding. Is not very thick chipboard. I'm adhering it with the Art Basic 3D gloss gel. It also dries up transparent. As you can see, I use it a lot. I think it's even time to buy a new one. And I'm just sticking it down without a plan. I'm just looking. What I'm doing on the right, I want to repeat it a little bit on the left, only with different elements. Even though it might be covered up later because I'm using some more things, but I don't mind. So I'm still going to place this one on the left and on the right, on the left side, on the right bottom. And because it's thin, I just press it a little bit harder over the other chipboard so that it's not really raised up. Then I'm checking my iron embellishments. They are also very thin. And since most of it have round corners, I'm just picking the round ones. So my 3D gloss gel again. And I'm adding pieces of fabric. I'm also adhering the 3D gloss gel, and I'm trying to see if my other parts I can still move them, raise them up a little bit so I can put the lace behind it. They are just leftovers that I'm using. I'm not cutting them or anything. I'm just using them the way they are. You can see I use a little bit of the 3D gloss because it's not heavy, it's not metal, and so it doesn't need much of the glue. Like the metal, I put a little bit more of the gel because then I'm very sure it's gonna stay. And you see it coming through the holes from the iron, but I don't mind because it dries up clear. Then I still found this little piece because I thought it's missing something there. And whilst I was cleaning up, I just took it out. I'm gonna adhere it there also with the 3D gloss gel. So I'm gonna dry it with my heat gun a little bit. It cannot be dried all the way because it takes 24 hours to really dry. But the outer layer, I can dry it so that it stays glued down. Then the inner part can dry on its own. Then I'm using heavy gesso and it's white. And I'm just using it with a brush. And you see a plastic between. That is also extra protection from drying out because I'm in the attic and it gets really hot here in the summer. Very cold in the winter, but hot in the summer. So most of my mediums, I always put a little plastic bag between, so as an extra protection. So I'm just taking an old brush and I'm going over my elements. Not a very thick layer because it's already heavy gesso. And it doesn't need a very thick layer, just a small layer so that my paints and waxes will adhere. So it's time to use some colors. First I want to give it a quick dry again, but the thin layer is already dried, but I just want to give it an extra dry so that when I put my paints and my waxes that it won't float out and make my color lighter, because when you add white, of course, to a color, the color gets a little bit lighter. So I'm picking my colors. I'm taking the liquid acrylics because I'm gonna use water with them. So I'm taking the titanium white, the ultramarine, the umber, and the avocado green. I'm shaking them before I put some dots down. You only need a little bit because, as it says on the bottle, it's a liquid. So it's already flowing, and when you add water, it's even gonna flow more, of course. So I'm just using little dots. And if I need more, then I can always take some more. But it's better to use all than throw it away and it's wasted. So as you can see, they are just little dots on my mat, but it's gonna take me a long way. I'm taking my water bottle so that I can spray, but I'm not spraying it on my mat. I'm spraying it on my page itself. So make sure you have a heavy paper or watercolor paper that can really take water. So I'm going in with my dry brush and I'm just brushing over the parts that I want a little bit of the color green. So you can see I'm just putting it on top. I'm not worrying. I'm just using everything, and then I'm gonna spray water over it, and then you will see the magic happen. So now you can see spreading is getting a little bit lighter. I can spread it out more. I just want a light green coming through, and then in between, of course, every time I'm drying it. And I'm playing with the water. I'm using the ultra marine color, the blue. You can see every time I add a layer of color is coming more together than it was before. So it's just a matter of adding, putting water, adding again, brushing some away, lighten the colors. I'm using the umber also in between to give it a little bit of the vintage. I'm also putting some on of the umber color on the arrows. And because I've already stamped and put the arrows and the letters and everything It really doesn't need much doodling. Taking some of my white so that in some of the places by the blue I can make it a little bit of the lighter color so that it's going from dark to light. It's gonna do that anyway, but with the white is gonna do it more, as you can see. And all the time I'm holding my journal a little bit up, so if I spray water, then the drops can just roll down, float down. And when the water gets too much, I just wipe it off with a cloth. In this case, I used a baby wipe. And if there are some space where I don't want the blue color, I can just pick it up with my baby wipe. And as you can see now, by using just little dots, you come a long way. I've not added any of the color anymore. Most of it I've used it, so I'm happy with that. No much waste. Just hold your, when you are spraying the water, hold your book in different ways so that the water can just move around and you have the little color there. I didn't want it to go much out of the whole, now let me say it like this, on the whole page. I didn't want the color on the whole page, so I still wanted to leave some white. And just make sure that these two, the way they are connected, it stays like that. So all the color, I want it like that. And I didn't also want too much color in between the images. That's why I use the stamping to connect. And I really love the way it's already coming out. So once I'm satisfied with the colors that I've used, I'm gonna dry it, and then I'm gonna bring in my wax. And I also want to do a text, so I'm just looking for text. So I've brought out my waxes, and the ones I'm going to use are sweet rose, This is the green that I'm using, and it's mint sparkle. So I'm just going by color. And I'm just brushing the color on. And then I'm going to a brighter blue. It's called Peacock. And the wax, you can use it as thick and as thin as you want. Most of the time I use them to enhance the color that is there already. And any of the spots that I miss, you can just go over it, and the wax of course is a little bit more shiny. So at some spaces you are also creating some highlights. And this is the sweet rose. And I'm just using it a little bit here and there because you can see where I'm working. The paper, the rice paper, decoupage paper, has a little bit of the pink or orangey brownie in. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Then I need to, of course, bring it also in on the right side of my paper. So I'm going over the letters and a little bit on top of the rest. Not very bright, just a little bit. And a little bit with the waxes go a long way because it already says wax, so that you know it's very creamy. So now that I want to get busy with my text, I'm taking out some cloth, some white cotton, and I'm taking some of the text that was just lying in front of my nose. It says you will grow beautifully in your own way. And the smaller one says happiness. I'm cutting it off the other sentence. Because the whole sentence was something with flowers. And it didn't go with the other text, so I just cut off the happiness. And I'm taking some of the packaging from like perfumes and bottles, that kind of packaging, the white packaging. It's thicker because it's supposed to protect the bottle, and so then it gives me a little bit more of the dimension. I'm sorry, I'm out of the camera, but I'm just sticking down the text to see how much I need, and then I'm just cutting it out. So I'm putting my glue, taking my glue is also, it dries up clear. And I'm putting it up on top, of course, and then later I will use a little color to blend it back in. And this is just the clear glue that I'm using. Then I'm gluing it on top of the paper, but because of the paper is very slippery, so I'm just gluing it down, and then I cut it with my scissors the way I want it. You can see I cut it out a little bit bigger so that I can just customize it to my paper. And of course the same thing with the smaller word happiness. Then I'm taking some thread, just some sewing thread, because I want to use it under the text also. So I'm just making sure that I have enough thread. And then the thread itself, because I want it in two parts, so the thread itself, the one that I wind around my hand, I'm gonna cut it through the middle. And then I'm taking my white cotton, we're still having a little piece over, so I'm just checking how to use it because it was too big. So what I did is I took my scissors, then I cut it through the middle because the back you are not seeing it. Then I'm first gonna add here the one part of the cotton, and it doesn't matter if you do it under or up. Then I'm gonna put some of the 3D gloss. And then I'm putting my fabric, and then again on that part I'm putting 3D gloss, as you can see, and the other half that was cotton off this part, I'm going to glue it on top. This way I can control how much up, down, and on the side I want to come out from the cotton, and it's not wasted, as you can see, and nobody sees it because it's been held together in the back. Now applying all the 3D gloss to the long sentence, and then I'm doing the same thing with the cotton as I did on the left side, because for some reason my camera stopped, so that part you can't see it. And after that I'm just using a little bit of the color to blend it in with the rest of my creation. So here you have it, you can see it all. So thank you very much for being here with me. I really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and share my video, and I will see you next time. Bye!